Hey, and we notorious, yeah, but it's much more to us. That's the blood of us. Okay, we don't need to get anything happen with my channel, so we're gonna turn that all the way off. Love me some Toby Ingwe. I don't know exactly how to say his last name, but all I know is he's from Houston. I think he's from what they call it, SWAC, Southwest Texas. I'm like, Southwest, stop it. It's not a whole. Anyway, if you know, you know. I'm gonna just say it like that. All right, guys. Welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Today I decided, it's a good day to make cheesecake. So that's what I'm gonna do. And you guys, since I'm live, if you guys want to ask me any questions about the cheesecake while I'm live, I have no problem with that. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about what you're gonna need. Okay, so you're gonna need a spatula. I encourage you to use KitchenAid. I don't know if you can see this. I encourage you to use this because ain't nobody got time for what we was doing, what our parents was doing in the 80s and 70s and 90s and whatever. We ain't got time for that. She don't have time for that. So you're gonna use a let me see, I have to move this over so I can show you the spatula. So this is the paddle you want to use. Can y'all see that? Yeah, that's the paddle that you want to use for the cheesecake. That's the one that I use, and you can use any type of spatula. So what you're gonna need for your cheesecake, and listen, I've been making this cheesecake for about 10 years, I think. And I don't make it all the time. And people always want me to make them a cheesecake. And I'm like, look, I got to be in the mood to make a cheesecake. And I'm not always in the mood. Today I'm in the mood. So we're going to have cheesecake. So the ingredients you're going to use, I use Philadelphia cheesecake. I have never really used the off-brand, but I'm a little bit of a food snob. So, but you feel free to use whatever brand, floats your boat. I have 2 packs of those. I usually use 4, but I don't think we need 4. Plus, who gonna eat all this cheesecake? I already made strawberry muffins yesterday. I know my husband tired of me. He like, look, ain't nobody got time to be continuously eating all this extra food. And I do suggest a trash bag near your. I'm gonna grab this one near wherever it is you're cooking. Because I got that from Rachel Ray. Because Rachel Ray would always say that. And I would be like, why does she need that? But I think she had like a trash bowl is what she called it. But it's trash bag because it's going in the trash. Okay. Everything when you're baking should be room temperature. Everything. So your cheesecake, if you're gonna make a cheesecake, the cream cheese should be room temperature. Your eggs should be room temperature. If for some reason you are using milk or anything like that, room temperature. So I would say, like with the cream cheese, I personally would probably leave it out for at least a minimum of 3 hours. So it's soft. See how it just rolled on off of there into the bowl? And I'm weird like this because like this right here, I could just tear it open because of how they made it. But I don't know. It's something about me. I'm like, I'm particular about stuff. So, again, here's my second packet of cheese, cream cheese rather. So for some reason, I don't like for it to get stuck somewhere. So I'm gonna cut it with a knife. Make sure it goes in there. I like when things have a smooth transition. Okay. So the other ingredients you're going to need besides that, like if you want a taller cheesecake, then I would use 4 packs of cream cheese or 5 packs. Depends on what you want. Okay. So some of the other ingredients you're going to need. So 2 to 3 packs of cream cheese. Philadelphia is the one that I use. If you want to make it thicker, I would use 4 packs. And then a cup of sugar. I'm not going to put that in yet. I'm just going to give you guys the ingredient list. And the ingredient list is in the description of this video. I think I put it there already. If I haven't, then I'll put it in there. I'm pretty sure I put it in there. For me, I'm making a strawberry cheesecake. So I'm going to be using the finest berries. They're called Driscoll's, but you know, it's up to you, whatever you have available to you in your city. My husband got these, I think, from Whole Foods. 3 eggs, again, room temperature. Here's one of my eggs. And you want to separate your eggs. Here's the other 2. I find it's better to get all your stuff together first, because otherwise you'll have stuff everywhere, which I will if I don't do this process. You're going to need some powdered sugar. That's really what's going to make the cream cheese sweet. 2 teaspoons, I'm not teaspoons, tablespoons, or no, actually 3 tablespoons of flour. I always put salt in put salt in anything that you're making that's sweet. Put a little bit of salt in it. You don't put any butter inside of this cheesecake, okay? You are going to use butter. I would say maybe about half a stick of butter, going to melt it. But it's up to you. You want, whenever I show you the graham cracker, you're going to have to use that melted butter to kind of make the crust. And you can make it in like 5 minutes. I promise you, you do not need to make one of those already made crusts. Plus, you don't know how long it's been there. I'm just saying. And in mine, if I'm just making a regular cheesecake, I just add a little cinnamon and sugar and the butter. And you're going to pat it around. I usually pat it around with something like a cup, like the bottom of it, or like this measuring cup. Just use it around, push it down, and that'll usually help you make it flat. So that way you're not getting the stuff all over your hands. But go for it. Do it however you want to do it. You're going to need vanilla. And a full 8-ounce can. This is not a can, container of sour cream. Now, if you've ever heard me, if you've ever eaten around me, you know, or if you're my friend, you know, I don't like creamy stuff. It's just not my thing. Meanwhile, making a whole creamy cheesecake, certain things I can eat that's creamy. So like I can eat nacho cheese. That's creamy. I don't like dip. I don't like salad dressing. And I'm certainly not putting sour cream on anything that I'm eating. I don't do that. She's not built that way. But mainly because the name of the ingredient is sour cream. Just sounds wrong to me. Maybe it's just me. But I will put sour cream in, let's say, a cream sauce that I'm making, like if I'm making Alfredo sauce or something like that. I will put it in the cheesecake because it's going to make the cheesecake really creamy. I'll put it in cakes as well. But you're going to save the sour cream for the end. When you finish mixing, you're going to fold this in. You're mixing it, but you don't want to mix it in like how you're mixing the sugar and the cream cheese. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Whip up this cream cheese. 1 second, guys. Okay. So I'm mixing, and you can't really see it. I'm mixing, I put some vanilla in there. And so I'm mixing it. And if you see how it's already creamy, that's because everything that I'm putting in here is already room. Right about now is when you want to stop the mixer and go ahead and wipe down your bowl. So I'm going to take the bowl off of here. You got to be careful and swift with it, because what could happen is the handle, the spatula thingy here that you're using to mix it up with could decide that it wants to drop some of the cream cheese onto the bottom of your thing. But you don't want to, because you want to put your bowl back there. And if it has cream cheese on it, it's going to make a mess. Right? So you scraped it. Now you're going to mix it up some more. This top is a good use for this. So while that's mixing, we're going to put our sugar. Cup. Now, in the ingredients list, it does say a cup and a third of sugar, or a cup and 1/3 of a cup of sugar, right? But the third of a cup is what you're going to use for the graham cracker crust. So don't put all of it into the cream cheese filling. Okay, so that's mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and wipe down. And you want to wipe down the little handle thingy here. You want to write that down too, because whenever it started creaming the cream cheese, initially there was no sugar in here. So it was just plain cream cheese. That's not good eats. Because cream cheese is one of those ingredients that takes on the flavor of whatever you add to it. So we added sugar, it's going to be sweet. You add sour cream, it's going to be sour. Now, not in this case because we've added sugar, but that's to just kind of give you an understanding of what it does. It's very bland, is my point. And so you don't want, the reason you want to wipe down your little handle here is you don't want the bland, you don't want someone to take a bite of the cheesecake and there's a bland part, you know? You want it to be well combined, okay? So I'm scraping this bowl again. And scrape the handle. And you want to make sure that you get down at the bottom too. Because things in bowls, especially at the bottom of the bowls, they like to, you know, hang out. And if you don't scrape that, then again, you might be leaving some goodness down there. And we don't want that. We want all the goodness inside of the cheesecake. Okay? That's what we want. I believe in giving things a good scrape down. You know, like if you're taking a shower or you're trying to shower your kids, you want them to be scrubbed down real good, especially boys. Why boys? Listen, if you're a boy, if you happen to be a boy or a man, chime in the comments and let me know why your mama gotta force you to take a shower. I would like to know why. You know, because it's like they don't understand, or honestly, I don't think boys see a reason until they start liking girls or they start liking whoever they start liking. Because then they will certainly take showers and put on all kinds of colognes and whatnot. Sidebar, you can't trust any man who's wearing Gucci Guilty or Invictus. Invictus, panty dropper. Just saying. Just saying. Not that my panties got dropped, because I've been with my husband, you know, since 2000 and since the 2000. So now I'm going to add an egg one at a time. And then I'm going to add a little bit of powdered sugar. This is another key component of making, or any cake. This. Lots of people don't like to sift things, but I guarantee you, if you sift cake flour, it's going to be a better cake. If you sift powdered sugar, it's going to be a better whatever it is you add in the powdered sugar. I'm just saying. Because especially with powdered sugar, it will close up, and things like flour will close up with it's almost like a waterproof component. So it won't, unless you mix it well, it won't open up all the flour. Then you'll have parts of your cake that isn't so, it's not fully mixed. All right, so I'm going to add another egg. And you want to add your eggs one at a time. Cool thing about cheesecake too, much like cake batter, you can taste it. Now, you're not tasting a lot of it, especially because it has eggs in it, children. But you can certainly taste it. Okay, so I have the eggs in there. Now I'm going to add some powdered sugar. And just say add as much as you want to add, but don't over add because you don't want it to be too sweet. So I don't know how much powdered sugar I really want to add, but let me get a little. So I have my little handy dandy thing here. So at first I wasn't going to take this off, but I'm going to go ahead and I'll take this off for right now so that I can add the sugar. I'm wiping it down because I don't want it to drip everywhere. Then I take it off. I'm not editing this. It's live. It is what it is. Okay. So I'm just going to stick this right over here with the on top of that sour cream container lid. And I'm going to get some of my powdered sugar and put this over the bowl. Grab some powdered sugar out of this powdered sugar container that I have here. And then I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to shake it. Shake it and don't break it. Took your mama namas to make it. So I think that's about a cup. I wouldn't add a whole cup. Mine is almost a cup. But you know how we do. What P. Diddy said? I'm not P. Diddy. Well, definitely not P. Diddy. I've been talking about him all morning. I was gonna say P. Pablo. All right. So I sifted everything. I sifted my little sugar into the batter. Now I'm going to reattach the paddle attachment. Oh, and you want to preheat your oven at 350 if I didn't already say that. And all ovens are different. My oven happens to be a gas oven because, in my opinion, gas just cooks better. It cooks more evenly, in my opinion. And I have a confectioner's option on my oven or on my stove. And I put it at 350 confectioner. I don't know. I've never cooked it in my confectioners. I never made a cheesecake in my confectioners oven. So maybe I might. So 350 in the regular oven. That's what I'm going to change it to. Because confectioner, I think it's much better to. I think it's much better to bake a regular cake in a confectioner's oven. It's just more balanced, in my opinion. So, but you do what you want. So I'll show you that. So this looks like, that's what it looks like. I've added the powdered sugar in there. Okay. So now I'm going to mix that up. And you're definitely going to want to scrape. And you'll see the batter is turning like a yellow, but that's what you want. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the bowl. Make sure all of the goodness is in there. All right. And now I'm going to add the sour cream. I'm going to let it mix one more time, and then I'm going to add the sour cream. And the flour. That's good. I'm going to add the flour. Anytime you're adding the powdered sugar or flour, you want to start it off slow. Or you will have flour everywhere. And the flour is necessary. It's what's going to keep it together. Okay. I turn it up one more time for everything, just to make sure it's combined. Okay. So now I'm going to take the paddle off. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the dishwasher because I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to fold in the sour cream. Just respect the plan. I have that goodie song in my head. It is in my head. It is just like in my head. I've been listening to Sierra. My goodies. My goodies. Not my goodies. Mm-hmm. All right. So now I'm going to take this off. Put it in the sink. I like to rake things off and clean them off a little bit. I'm on my way back. All right. Ooh. All right. So now I'm going to add, let me put this powdered sugar away. Don't need any more of that. All right. So now I have my little 8 ounce. Is this 8 ounces? Yeah. 8-ounce container of sour cream, which again should be room temperature. I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my cheesecake. Yes, the whole container. I promise you won't be disappointed. I used to make this cheesecake for my husband's job. They literally would request my cheesecake, and I would tell them, "Look, listen, she's busy. She's booked and busy. Okay, so she don't have time to be making y'all cheesecake all the time." But I did make it for them sometimes. And then I remember one time I made this. I made a sweet potato pie, right? Because there's this thing in the world where people of color who look like me, we generally during the holidays are going to make a sweet potato pie, right? And our people that don't look like me, I'm going to go with the Anglo-Saxon people, they are more in favor of a pumpkin pie, which honestly, if you buy one from the store, like, like Edwards, I think is it Edwards pies or whomever, I think it's Edwards, the ones that I like, if I'm going to buy a store-bought cake like that or pie. I personally think the sweet potato pie, if you buy it from the store, and these what's the other one? Not carrot cake, Lord Jesus. Pumpkin pie. Tastes exactly the same. That's my opinion of the ones that I've bought from the store. I think if you make it at home, it's gonna be a little different because brown people, listen, we had brown sugar, extra butter. Listen, it's the holidays. That's what you should be doing. Just saying. I feel like certain things. Listen, I am all for having a balanced diet. And don't get me started on the FDA because they don't protect us. They're supposed to, but they don't. They're supposed to tell us. They're supposed to keep the food makers in check and make sure that what they're putting in our foods and drinks and snacks and everything in between are healthy. And really, I wouldn't even say healthy, are not going to contaminate our body, have some sort of adverse effect. But yeah, you still selling, artificial sweeteners. Y'all know that one that you see when you go out to eat that have carcinogens in them, but somehow it's still, this is the thing with the FDA. They'll be like, we'll allow no more than 0.00 rat pee into whatever. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, I get what they're saying. What they're getting at is like, there are going to be these factories, and these factories are going to have animals, little creepy crawler things. They are. And so it's impossible to say. It's impossible to write on someone's packaging that we know for 100% it doesn't have. It's impossible. And so that's what they're saying. So they're saying, okay, well, what's going to be the rubric scale? What's going to be the scale of acceptability? That's what the FDA does. They don't necessarily, in my opinion, truly enforce what they should be enforcing. Otherwise, we couldn't have artificial sweeteners safely in restaurants around the world. Well, I'm gonna say FDA is in America, so we couldn't have it, could we? Mm-mm. Yeah, we can have. There's the safest, the allowed amount of rat hairs. I can't take it. Go read about it. So this is true. Okay, so now that's part one of your cheesecake. So I've mixed everything in. It looks nice and smooth. And tasty. So the next phase is, now that your oven has already been on, right? Your oven is already on. You are going to move to the next step, which is I already really completed this. So in my little blender, little small blender thing, I have graham cracker crust. And you can put anything in here if you want to make if you want to use, I typically just use regular graham crackers. But you can blend up anything. You could blend up, little sugar cookies, or one of my favorite cookies. It's made by that company. I forget what it's called, but they sell like cookie butter. Forget what it's called, but it's in like a clear red and white packaging. Love it. You could grind those up. You could use Oreos. A lot of people use those. Whatever it is, I think it should be based on the flavor of the cheesecake, though. You want it to go good together. So I just have regular graham crackers in here, and I put a few, oh God, what is the name of those? Ginger snaps. I put a few of those in there. And that third cup of sugar I was telling you about, that's in here. And cinnamon. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to get your cheesecake pan. This is the pan that I selected. Okay. This is the cheesecake pan I selected. Got to make some room. And I don't know if I had said that you need some butter. I'm going to have to, this butter's now solid again, but I'm going to have to warm it up. Okay. So what you're going to do is, before you put the graham crackers and whatnot into this pan, before you do that, you want to wrap this pan in foil. And you want to use, I wonder if I have any of these bags. Those oven safe bags. I wonder if I have any in here. Because I like to wrap my cheesecake in those oven safe bags, but I might not have any. Oh, please. Nope, no oven safe bags in there. I don't know. But you know those other safe bags, you know what I'm talking about? And then because you don't want it to leak, right? So that would not be good if it was leaking for you. The other thing that you could do, I think the thing that I think I might do, I think this is what I'm gonna do. Cover this in foil and then see if I can put it on here and then close it up. So let me try that real quick because I've never done that. So foil. Let's see. You don't want it to see, I almost feel like you don't want it to be you don't want it to break. And I don't know if that can happen with this, but we'll just try. and see if that's possible. All right. So looks like it's possible. So what I'm going to do is, even though I have that on there, I'm going to wrap this bottom part. So that's basically when you get ready to put this in your water bath, and all cheesecakes, real cheesecakes need eggs and a water bath. It just is what it is. So now I'm just gonna put my little cheesecake pan on here and cover the bottom of this in foil. I know you really can't see this, and that's okay. You're gonna survive. I promise. I'm gonna show it. Okay. And I'm just gonna do it one more time for good measure, because this is a foam form pan. That means it might leak. So that's why I say wrap it in foil. That's how I roll. And trust me, I've made a cheesecake and it has leaked. And it all works out because no one really cares. But you don't want that beautiful crust that you've made to be ruined with water. That's all I'm saying. So you want to put that in there, right? You wrap it, and the inside at the bottom is where you're going to add the graham cracker crust. Graham cracker crust. All right. You know, my husband bought me this, and I have an old one. And child, I liked it when he bought this, but it just gives me a hard time. I don't know why. Like right now, for some reason. Okay, here we go. I was gonna say I can't get the top off. It's just anyway. So this has, I'm gonna go over it again. Sugar, cinnamon. Sugar, cinnamon. If it's during the holidays and you want to add like nutmeg or something like that, you can. But I think the sugar and cinnamon is good. Okay. This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna move that around. The reason I have so much is because I kind of want to push my graham cracker crust up the sides of the pan to get that New York style cheesecake. We're gonna need this melted butter in just a second. Let me show you why we're gonna need it. We need it to make the crust. One is going to be in there for flavor, but also two, in order for the crust to not soak up the cheesecake, you're going to need the butter in there, and then you're going to need to bake it for about 10 minutes. Hopefully this. Okay, yeah. So it's melted. It's melted. And I'm just going to pour it all over. Might need some more butter, but we'll see. I need some more butter. So for me, I'll just wash my hands real quick, and then you're gonna move the butter around. Just because I believe in clean hands. Plus, you're going to be sharing this cheesecake with somebody. For me, this cheesecake right here is only going to get shared with my husband. And since we both have had the Rona, then it's all good. We're going to be okay. Okay. And I can tell right now I'm going to need a little more butter, because it's still kind of sandy. So I'll show you. It's still kind of sandy. So I'm gonna melt a little more butter, and then I'll pour that in here, and then we should be good to go to push it down. Where's the butter? Oh. It's in the thing that says butter. right, here we go. I'm gonna just go with the rest of whatever's on here. Should be enough. That's about half a stick of butter. So yeah. Here's the thing with cheesecake. Why a lot of people, would rather just buy it, it's because it seems like it's really difficult. It's not difficult, but cheesecake is one of those things that is finicky. And just like any baking, if you miss steps or do things improperly, it will come out wrong. Oh, please. So that was my husband that just called me from the office. I can't. To tell me, can you put the oven on 475, even though I'm about to make my cheesecake? But sure, I'll put it on 475. This is how you keep it when you're married. Oh man. Okay. So now I'm going to add this melted butter. You don't want to add it all at once, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to use all of it. So now I'm going to move all of this around. Okay. And once you kind of have it combined and you can kind of tell it's no longer sandy, then you start like moving it down. So this is the consistency you kind of want it to be. You see? Right? You don't want it to be completely soft and you don't want it to be 100% drenched because you want it to actually bake in the oven, right? So I'm going to move this around with my hand. And like I said, you can use your the bottom of the cup, or like I said earlier, the bottom of your measuring cup. And so I'm using my hand because I want to push it up the wall a little bit, up the sides a little bit. And this takes a little bit of, finessing, so to speak. But let's just say you add too much butter. All you have to do is just add some more graham crackers. You got to grind them up and do all that whole thing again. And if you're going to grind them up and do that whole thing again, repeat, right? So add the cinnamon, add the sugar. You're going to need to do that again, right? And then once you have it, kind of what you want it to look like. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It's homemade. Although you might want it to be pretty, if you're going to put it on Instagram or on, what would you call it? On the, what I call it? I was just going to call it the gram. But if you're going to put it on Instagram or you're going to put it on social media, let me say it like that. You want to put your best foot forward because, people, they only want to put their cute photos on the Instagram. And then when he see you in real life, or she see you in real life, it's like, who is this beast? I'm joking. Oh my goodness. But I would not recommend making something like this for the first time. If you're going to have some event at your house, like a game night, Super Bowl party, Thanksgiving, Christmas, don't be trying out new stuff with people because they will give you the business and you'll be wondering why nobody's eating your macaroni and cheese while your cheesecake is still there at the end of the night because something ain't right with it. Okay. So just saying. Did you tell me 475? Okay, y'all, I gotta put the script. I don't think I put it on 475. Wash my hands. Oh no, I believe in washing hands around here. Okay. Spooning on 475, and then, but I'm gonna bake my crust first, and then I'll put it on 475. Okay. So like I said, you're gonna just put this in there for about 10 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 10 minutes, and then you're gonna take 10 minutes starting now. At about 10 minutes, and remember it's hot. So like put it over to the side. It doesn't need to cool all the way down, but it can. It's no big deal. Mine is going to cool all the way down because my husband wants me to have the oven at 475 because I guess he's going to come make his lunch or something. And while your cheesecake is baking, you can make whatever topping you're going to have. I'm going to have strawberries. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do the strawberries. I'm not sure. I'm going to look online and see what pretty designs people have. I don't think I want to cook strawberries. I don't know why. I don't feel like I want to cook them. I may just cut a few of them up and then put sugar and then put them in the refrigerator and let them kind of make a syrup and then put those on top of the cheesecake. I'm not really sure. But I can't even do that anyways until after the cheesecake is cooled completely. So the strawberry thing I'll probably put on tomorrow once the cheesecake is completely cooled, completely firm and all of that. So I'll just say the rest of it. So I'm going to take this out, the crust out in about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to add the cheesecake cream filling to it. And then I'm going to bake it in the oven for an hour and 10 minutes. After an hour and 10 minutes, I'm going to crack the oven. I'm going to turn it off. I crack the oven. And then I'm going to leave my cheesecake in there for an additional 10 to 15 minutes. I just always go with 15 minutes because cheesecake's temperature needs to cool down slowly. It warms up slowly. It cooks slowly. It cooks for a whole hour and 10 minutes. So it's not like a regular cake. Okay. Whenever you turn it off and you check it or whatever, it's going to be wobbly. You don't check it like you check a regular cake. You're not sticking a fork in it. You're not doing any of that. It should still be wobbly. Okay. As it cools down, it is going to firm up. Once you take it out of the oven, after that 10, 15 minutes I told you, you're going to sit it on your counter on a cooling rack. Don't sit it directly onto your counter. Don't leave it on the stove because if the stove or the oven is still on, it will continue to cook. It will continue to heat things that are on top of the oven. I'm just saying. So put it on the counter, on the table, somewhere where nothing's going to get to it that's hot. You don't want to put it under a fan or anything. I wouldn't, but you can do what you want. Just want it to slowly cool down. I would say after an hour of sitting out, then you want to put it in the refrigerator and let it cool overnight. I usually clean out whatever tray with fruit or whatever that's in there and put it in there because people, if you have a husband or children, they will move all kinds of stuff around and they don't be caring nothing about you and your cheesecake that's in there trying to get his whole life together. Okay. And so then, and I wouldn't cover it with foil or anything like that because if there is any humidity, any heat at all left in that cheesecake, it's going to rise. And so if you have it covered with foil, then that condensation is going to set in on top of the foil and then it's going to drip water drops onto your cheesecake, which again, you can cover it up with fruit or chocolate, whatever it is. But I don't like that. And I like it to have its own little safe area. Do not open this container area. Okay. And then the next day you take it out and I mean, people do what they want, but I wouldn't cut a cheesecake. I would wait until the next day or at least 8 hours personally. Just let it freeze. Let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 8 hours after it's cooled down on the counter. It'll be firm and then it'll be the best thing. Chef's kiss. I promise you. If you follow the directions that I gave you. Just saying. So I'll make another video tomorrow after I have cooked my cheesecake and cooled it and everything. And leave any comments below. Give me any advice that you think you might want to share. Let me know what you guys think about my cheesecake recipe. Let me know if you try it out. I want to see how it turns out. Until next time, thank you so much. I'm Chanel, and this is Chanel's Reality. Thank you so much for joining me. Till next time, talk to you guys. Bye. I meant to say talk to you guys later. Later. How do the Indian people dance? I want to get invited to an Indian wedding, right? Bye, guys.